welcome to Mr. Abdul Qadir Bengali. Mr. Bengali is the Chief Operating Officer COO with Aeroflex India Private Limited. He oversees global operations for insulation and other businesses. He is a management graduate and has done engineering from NIT Surat. With 3 decades of professional experience in the competitive construction industry, he has been associated in various leadership capacities with European, American, and in multinational companies of repute such as Doka, AkzoNobel, Pidilite Industries, and St. Clothing Glasses and Voltes Limited, demonstrating his expertise as a business leader. Today, Mr. Bengali will share his insights on sustainable and safe installation solutions for HVAC applications. So, please welcome Mr. Abdul Qadir.
Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this discussion. Mr. Azmi and Mr. Vinod have done a fantastic work in terms of raising the bar to a great level. I will take the opportunity of discussing about various solutions which would be available, which are primarily green in design, in terms of sustainable and safe insulation system. What we all witnessed was a wonderful information which was shared by Mr. Azmi and Mr. Vinod in terms of indoor air quality and in terms of efficient ways of cooling the temperature without putting a lot of energy. I think the sequence is fantastically coming in because I'm going to talk about insulation, which happens to be a very small percentage as compared to the overall HVAC package. However, plays a very, very important role in terms of making it more efficient. I have a very basic question which I'm going to ask everyone, that we see a lot of machines all around, starting from a very simple window AC going up to a very complex chiller plants. And there are many more equipment which goes as a part of the HVAC system. The question is, can we measure the efficiency of each of this machine on day zero, and let's say 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, so on and so forth? I'm sure the answer would be yes. The next question is, do we really measure the efficiency? And I'm sure the answer would also be yes. There are a lot of sensors available. There are a lot of IoT systems available, building management systems available, which would really help to measure the efficiency of the system when it comes to various equipments a part of the HVAC system. The question is, every HVAC system has different forms of insulation. What I would want to ask each one of you is the efficiency or the efficacy of insulation system measured over a period of time? And I'm sure each one of you would come back and say the answer is no. We put the system, we put the insulation, and we believe it's working, because unlike any machine which is active, this is a passive form of reducing heat or making it energy efficient as a system. However, if the selection is not appropriate, it may lead to various problems, which you can see some of them on the screen, be it in terms of ice formation, condensation, mold growth, so on and so forth. And that plays a very important role. Why? One may believe that my chiller is not working properly, or I'm not getting the required 7-degree or chill water, or am I not getting the required temperature when it comes to the duct or the chilled air. And the reason may not be that the machines are not working. The reason may be that the insulation has not performed, or as we say, it has deteriorated, which is a term called thermal retention ratio, has gone down over a period of time. When you talk about insulation, thermal conductivity is a very important phenomenon, and that's the main requirement because of which one would insulate either a duct or a pipe or any particular system. However, water vapor is the biggest enemy which can impact thermal conductivity substantially. You'll be surprised to hear that water conducts 20 times more heat as compared to air. And we all understand that a static air or a gas is a basic form of an insulation. People would have heard about cavity wall, different forms of insulation. It's basically an air. Also, furthermore, 1% of water vapor ingress, just 1% of it can increase the thermal conductivity of a material by 4 to 6%. And I think overall, what's very, very critical to understand is the thermal performance, which is the K value, unfortunately, which is selected for day 0, and if it is not maintained in a dry condition, the wet insulation value, irrespective of whatever the value is, it will not perform to the level what is supposed to be when you select it, because that's a dry insulation which is on day 0. A wet insulation, on the contrary, can lead to energy losses. It can lead to ice formation, condensation. It can lead to microbial contamination. It can lead to corrosion. I'm sure a lot of people on the call, on the webinar would have seen, once you remove the insulation after a few years on a pipe, you would see sweatings around, and you will also see corrosion. The products can also act as a catalyst towards corrosion and not just performing it from a thermal insulation point of view. And eventually the overall weight would really go up of the system as such. And hence, when I speak about sustainable performance, anyone who is selecting a material has to keep in mind that the thermal conductivity, the K value, has to be low, but most important, has to be stable. What you see on the screen are different forms of insulation, and I'm sure that everyone understands that when we are in a cold weather, we all put on a blazer, a jacket, a thermal, so on and so forth. Even that forms as a performance of insulation. But is my insulating property remaining constant over a period of time, as what you can see, or is it increasing? And if it increases, which can be the case for certain types of insulation, which are primarily open cell or closed cell, or even semi-closed cell as well, that is an element which I would suggest each one of you to keep in mind. Ask the respective suppliers that are you offering an insulation material or a solution which is going to be stable over a period of time. One of the solutions which is offered is an EPDM insulation, which offers the best performance in terms of a low and most important stable K value, which would ensure that the insulation material performs over a period of time as similar way as otherwise. There's a project which we have done in other part of the world where we have seen or taken a material which was 20 years old, measured its thermal conductivity, and we found that the aging is marginal, which indicates that the K value remains constant, as you can see it on the slide over here. And that's what I wanted to share about sustainable selection of insulation. Moving on to the second point, which I said about safe. I'm sure none of us would ever want to be in a situation where we or any of our family members or friends or acquaintances are in a situation like this. Such unfortunate incidents occurs, and studies have shown that it is not fire which is the cause of death, but it is smoke. And hence, selection of the right material plays a very important role when one is selecting for any requirement, and so it insulation. A different insulation material would behave differently when subjected to fire. However, the key to me is smoke. What can happen with respect to the toxic fumes which are emitted once any insulation material is subjected to fire? There are insulation material which would emit HCN, which is cyanide gases as well, which can really cause a lot of harmful, and people may die, which is what would not be the case when one was to select a product, let's say like EPDM, which is Aeroflex, where it does not have any negative impact with respect to toxic fumes when it is on fire. I want to show you a small video. It's a very simple illustration which indicates two different material, and both the materials are own material. We do not believe in comparing with anyone else. We are the largest supplier of insulation in the country for nitrile rubber and EPDM. Both the material have their own strengths, have their own positives. At the same point of time, EPDM scores much higher when it comes to the category of smoke, the category of low and stable performance. A very simple assessment which we did for a period of 3 minutes, both kept on a microwave, to see the impact of its performance over a period of time. I'll move it quickly on for the benefit of time, and you can see smoke is coming out over here. I hope it's visible on your screen, whereas nothing is happening at this point of time. 29 seconds are left, and if you move in, you can see more and more smoke emitting out from this microwave, which has nitrile rubber. 3 minutes are over, and you can see the difference of smoke between the two. That's the difference of how and why an EPDM scores over other category of material. This is all what I wanted to discuss. Since it was a very short time available with us, something about us. We are a part of ALP Group. We are innovators as a group, innovators in the polymer technology in the business since 40 odd years. Truly a Indian multinational company with our operations spread from far east to far west. ALP Aeroflex is a joint venture with ALP Overseas and Aeroflex from Thailand. And we are the leaders, the pioneers in the category of EPDM insulation, nitrile rubber insulation, cross-linked polyethylene insulation. And we've been privileged to be a part of various projects across the country in different facets of segments, starting from an airport to a hospital or an IT sector to industries to government buildings. And at the same point of time, being part of various prestigious international projects as well. Coming up, do look at selecting a safe, sustainable insulation system when you are selecting for any of your requirement, be it for chilled water, be it for any pipe application, or be it for duct application. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bengali, for briefing us about sustainable and safe insulation solutions for HVAC applications.